I notice I do that every time. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Mask with Cher and Eric Stoltz. Anyway, that's a joke. Eric Stoltz plays Rocky Dennis, and he always does that. So that's something I'd like to work on. Today we are going to talk about 3 practical things to work on or heal your self-esteem if you are having issues around your self-esteem. They're going to just be very great and maybe not easy but simple things that you can start working on immediately. And I'm closer to the street right now, so you may hear some street noise. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully you can hear me better. So the first is smashing ants. What are ants? That's automatic negative thoughts. So to smash ants, this basically means if you start thinking, so I wish I was smarter about this, or God, here's a worse one. God, I'm so stupid about this, or, I used to say at one time, when I was really working heavily on this, I weighed a bit more, and I would say really horrible things about my body. Like I would say, oh my God, I look like a cow, or oh my God, I look like a stuffed pig. And those are really terrible things to say, and I will not say for if you're not feeling that you can say the exact opposite of that, because I remember when I was going through it, I was like, well, the person I was talking to, I was like, well, I'm trying to work on the automatic thoughts, but it's like, that's how I feel about myself. And the person said, okay, that might be true, but you might feel that way, but is that a true statement? And it's like, do you actually look like a cow? And it's like, no, I don't. Like, I look like a person, And so he said, okay, so since that's the case, what is a more true statement that you could say? And it's like, okay, maybe it's that I don't really look the way I want to look, or these clothes don't fit well. I don't feel comfortable in this outfit because it just doesn't fit the way I'd like it to. So those are all things that you can say instead of that automatic thought that comes up and is just negative and not helpful. So you can start there, and it's really difficult because they are automatic at first. These thoughts this is how you think. This is the way you think about yourself and about things, but what will happen is, the main thing is the minute you say it, because we're talking about it now, you will start to do this. You'll notice that you said it. And when you notice that you say it, take a moment to figure out a better thing to say. So in the example of, I look like a cow. And you're like, oh gosh, that's not a good thing to say. Okay. I don't really care for the way I look in this outfit at this time. Maybe there's something I can work on, or maybe I need to choose something else to wear. Okay? So that's one way to deal with it. Another way you can deal with it is to put that automatic thought onto another person, in the sense that, like, maybe you make up a imaginary character, or maybe somebody in your life has told you bad things that make you perpetuate these kinds of thoughts. So the minute the thought comes up, you can go, oh, there's Aunt Janine saying something bad about me again. And it's kind of like Aunt, there's Aunt Patricia saying something bad about me again. You know, and then correct that thought. And it does take time. Like I said, these are simple but not necessarily easy. But over time, it'll change. And I will tell you something. Like now, or even before, you know, I would never go to the automatic thought of I don't say stuff like that anymore. In my head, like if I don't like the way I look in an outfit, I just change, you know, I just change into something that I do feel like I like. Or if my outfit feels uncomfortable, I don't go to this, oh, you know, I look like a stuffed pig or I feel like a stuffed pig. I go to this outfit's tight and uncomfortable and I need to change, or I can't wait to get home. And, you know, if I like eat a lot at a party or something and I'm uncomfortable or whatever, then that's the thought. That's the automatic thought. I don't have as many automatic thoughts that are negative. And when I get into a space of having them, and it's not just about, I'm using body dysmorphia thoughts because I had a lot of those at one time. But, you know, there's ones about being stupid. There's ones about circumstances. That's something that comes up now that I've had to, like, when I'm in circumstances that are really uncomfortable, I'm like, oh, everything's awful. It's like, everything's awful? That's another thing. When you realize that you're using these kind of all or nothing terms, you're probably in that automatic thought thing. So, like I said, 2 ways to deal with that. Both of them involve just recognizing that you're doing it. That is such a big deal. You have no idea how much that's going to change things. The minute you realize that you're doing that, it's huge. You start realizing it, and then you replace it. And the more you do it, the easier it is. And then you can get to the place where I'm talking to, where I am overall, where I'm just like, I'm not saying that, you know, anyone's going to be perfect at this, because, you know, everyone has times where they have something negative come up. But you get to that point of really, your automatic thought is like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, or, and that can be in anything. It can be in, I'm uncomfortable in my clothes. I'm uncomfortable in this situation. Things don't feel great right now. You go to those kinds of thoughts instead of like, everything's horrible, or I'm this awful person that can't figure anything out, or like these really kind of self-deprecating things that are not helpful to your self-esteem and that lower your confidence in yourself and how you are in the world. So that's number 1, smashing ants. Number 2 is it's similar. This dovetails nicely, which is number 2, talk to yourself more like you would a friend or a loved one. Because I think that we do not say, and if we do, like, oh gosh, yeah, that's not good. But think about how you treat somebody that you really care about, and then start giving some of that to yourself. Like if, you know, your friend, here's the thing, there's a saying about, you know, I'm not sure about, you know, it's about bending the truth a little to be loving, because I'm not sure what the truth is, but I know how to be loving, and bending the truth is worth it. I completely butchered that, and I'll find the quote and I'm going to put it below because it's a really good one. About, you know, that's something that we all do. It's tactfulness that maybe not all of us do, but many people do, to be kind. And, you know, if someone, you know, didn't do, like, okay, here's one. like maybe your friend makes you lunch and, you know, they're not a great cook for whatever reason, but they do their best that they can, and you know, maybe the rice is a little crunchy, or I don't know, you know, some things, you know, it's just not perfect for whatever reason, but they went out of their way. Are you going to sit there and complain about what they did, or are you going to be like, probably not? I definitely wouldn't. Um, you know, it's like this person went out of their way to do something nice, and so what the kind thing to do is to say thank you. I really appreciate that you made this beautiful feast. So don't do that to yourself if you didn't do something perfect. You know, we're all learning. Life is about learning. And, you know, talk to yourself the way that you would talk to a loved one. So I think, you know, there's probably tons of examples of that. But I would encourage you to maybe make a list if you are having trouble around that. But like I said, this dovetails very closely with the automatic negative thoughts in number 1. So I think that you can make a list there. And then 3 is to do nice things for yourself. Do things that you would do for somebody that you care about. Because I don't think we do that enough for ourselves. You know, some people do. But, you know, examples like, you know, maybe eating healthy meals is something that you want to incorporate into your life. And you, that's something that I've fallen off so many times over time, where it's like I'm just not taking as good care of my health as I should, and I'm not feeling as good as I could because I'm not exercising or, you know, eating right or whatever. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to make a point of eating good, or take yourself out to a restaurant and indulge a little bit if you can, you know. Do something simple like take yourself out to coffee. Save up and buy yourself something special. Like, I don't know, like, for me, I have this thing that I have quite the collection of clothes, if you couldn't tell. Like, I maybe you can't tell from my videos, but I am insane about clothes. I'm insane about fashion. I love it. And I really want a tapestry jacket. I don't know where I'm going to find it. It's probably going to be thrifted, I'm hoping. But I want to set some money aside and I want to get it. I have a jacket collection. I was just telling my mom about it. So, you know, maybe that's something. I do take myself out to coffee. I buy myself flowers. I do these things for myself because I think that it makes me feel good. And it also teaches you to accept that kind of behavior from other people around you. And, you know, since we talk a lot about dating and relationships in this particular part of my channel, that doing that for yourself, and it makes it so it's not so hard to accept that from somebody else, because people want to do things for you. And instead of being like, oh, no, accept that gift. You'll be able to accept that gift better. And accepting a gift from somebody, you know, that's something that makes them feel good. So I would say that if somebody, unless it's super crazy and extravagant and just like too much, like I think that there's that. But like in terms of like someone wanting to buy you some little something, or, you know, or even to take you out on a date and things like that and pay for everything and plan everything, you'll be in a better space to accept something like that. If someone wants to do something like that, you know? So I think these are 3 really important ways and easy ways to get this started. And if you want to know more tips or tricks, it's not even tips or tricks actually. This is very practical information. If you're interested in more practical information on working on your self esteem, I'm definitely willing to do some more research and think of other things that I've done to build my own self esteem. And like I said, I'm going to do a little series here about building self esteem, confidence, and holding boundaries. Um, so you're going to be seeing some stuff around that because I think these are very important foundational things for being in a good space to get into a relationship, whether it's romantic or friendships or otherwise. Because I think that all of these things, if you don't have these things, you can get yourself into really unhealthy friendships and romantic relationships. So, I hope this was helpful. Go ahead and like and subscribe. You know what to do. And hit the bell so you know when I make a video. And I will see you next time. Okay, bye.